Good evening. The purpose of tonight's presentation is to provide you with background and information about the minor changes to the course offerings at the 8th grade level. By now, you should have received a letter giving you your child's mathematics placement for grade 8, as well as a brief overview of the changes and the criteria used for the placement. In July 2009, the New Jersey Department of Education and the New Jersey Board of Education adopted new and more rigorous graduation requirements. All students must take Algebra 1 and Geometry, as well as a third course that extends the content of Algebra 1 and Geometry. While in Hillsborough, most of our students take Algebra 2 as well as 4 years of math, new course guidelines move content down, which requires changes in program. As a result, like all school districts in New Jersey, Hillsborough must change our curriculum to meet these new and rigorous graduation requirements. In mathematics, step 1 of this implementation requires that all students take Algebra 1 or its equivalent and pass a rigorous end-of-course Algebra 1 assessment. Beginning in the 2010-2011 school year, students enrolled in Algebra 1 must take and pass the Algebra 1 end-of-course assessment, no matter when they take Algebra 1, as part of their graduation requirements. This test is given in late May. As the implementation of the new graduation requirements continue, we are expecting end-of-course assessments for Geometry and Algebra 2. The Geometry assessment was scheduled to begin this next year, with the Algebra 2 test to follow 2 years later. Test development for the Geometry assessment has not yet started. While the American Diploma project, of which New Jersey is a member, has an end-of-course Algebra 2 assessment, the state of New Jersey has backed off requiring it of all students at this time. As a result of the release of the new Common Core standards and the pending adoption of those standards by the state of New Jersey during the summer of 2010, it is likely that the state will begin to look at the guidelines for the third required course and the end-of-course assessment to go with it. The current High School Proficiency Assessment, or HESPA, will remain minimally until the Algebra 1 and Geometry end-of-course assessments are operational. Through the American Diploma Project Network, governors, state education officials, post-secondary leaders, and business executives work together to improve post-secondary preparation by aligning high school standards, graduation requirements and assessment, and accountability systems with the demands of college and careers. New Jersey is one of the original 13 states who participated in the network, which has now grown to about 35 states. That number is likely to grow with the adoption of the Common Core standards. The American Diploma Project content strands for the end-of-course Algebra 1 assessment and course guidelines are operations and expressions, which makes up 25% of the assessment, linear relationships, which makes up 35% of the assessment, nonlinear relationships, which makes up 20% of the assessment, and data statistics and probability, which also makes up 20% of the assessment. These course guidelines are meant to provide a rigorous and uniform Algebra 1 experience for all students, no matter where they are enrolled in school. It must be understood that these course guidelines involve a major shift in content emphasis, as well as the inclusion of topics that have traditionally been part of Algebra 2 courses. Unlike the New Jersey Ask and HESPA, the end-of-course Algebra 1 assessment does not provide formulas or mathematics information sheets. Some of the topics which students must apply during the end-of-course Algebra 1 assessment and are considered prior knowledge are finding the area of parallelograms, trapezoids, circles, and triangles, finding the volume of surface area of prisms and cylinders, knowing and applying the Pythagorean theorem, knowing the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, and finding simple and compound interest. Students are also required to know standard and metric conversions as well as time conversions. To meet the rigor of the new graduation requirements, the Algebra 1 course guidelines, and the end of course Algebra 1 assessment, we have rewritten our Algebra 1 curriculum. There is now one curriculum for Algebra 1, and it is the same for all students no matter when they take Algebra 1. Because of the rigor of the end of course assessment, it is imperative that students take Algebra 1 when they are developmentally and content knowledge ready. The curriculum in the 8th grade was also rewritten to give the 8th grade students a rigorous and complete pre-algebra experience. The names TRA and PRO were dropped from course titles. While cosmetic, it is the hope that if the course names do not closely parallel the proficiency levels on the NJ Ask, that students, teachers, and students will not automatically believe that a student who scored Advanced Proficient should automatically be in an advanced math class. Students are evaluated for all placements individually based on criteria which include test average, mid-year assessment score, NJ Ask 6, Iowa Algebra Aptitude Test score, and teacher recommendation. The bolder arrows are meant to show the more likely placement. While background movement does occur, it is not included in an effort to make the chart as easy to read as possible. If you have any program questions, I am happy to answer them. If you have questions specific to your child's placement, please contact your child's mathematics teacher. Thank you very much for your time this evening.